guys, this has been with Zaprak Blog. A lot of times, people, right after bad things happen, or if you have like a mass shooting or a mass stabbing or whatnot, a lot of people start, talking about, oh, well, what should you do, right? Now, I'm going to simplify this, right? There's only three things that you can do, right? You can try and go find the bad guy, fight, right? Or you can barricade, or you can run. Those are the only three things that you can do, right? Now, in doing those, you're going to have one of two outcomes, right? Either you're going to live or you're going to die. And the more you train, right, the less likely you are to die. Boxers don't step into the ring and not expect to get hit, right? If you go to any reputable knife trainer, right, and you actually study knife fighting, the first thing that they're going to tell you, right, winners drip and losers gush, right? So in this, there's actually a completely other video in this. Just because you're hit doesn't mean you're out, right? Now, so you've got three options. You're going to have two outcomes, and you've got one chance to get this right. So where are fights won? Fights are won before the fight starts, right? If you look at people who do UFC or boxing or anything else, notice how much they train, right? And it is the training regimen that actually dictates how the fight goes. So when you get in a situation, let's say if you're at a location and there's a mass stabbing or a mass shooting, you need to understand that that is not the time to be learning new things, right? That is test time, right? You better have studied for that test. Now, you have to make sure that you're practicing, right? Because you don't know when your exam is coming. You don't know if it's coming, right? But what you always know is it's not if the bad guy is out there. The bad guy is always out there. The only question is if you bump into him, right? If you are present, right? The bad guys are out there. They're going to do bad things. That's their MO. Going forward from that, right, we need to understand that, training is the most important part of what we can do and constantly refreshing our skill set. Another thing that I'll bring up is the silent A in the OODA loop, right? We all know that the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, right? A lot of people forget the silent A, which comes first. It's called acceptance, right? You have to accept the fact that you may be in a position where you will have to follow through with a violent action, right? When someone crosses your line in the sand, you have to be willing to respond to that threat in a timely fashion, right? There are no half measures. Either you're fighting and you're fighting like your life depends on it, or you're not fighting, right? And if you have not come to a place where you are okay with using deadly physical force against another human being, leave your gun at home. If you don't think you can use deadly physical force on another human being, take your gun off. The reason being is because if you can't use it, you have brought a gun that the bad guy might be able to get. So the only thing that you're doing by carrying a gun, if you have not reached a point of acceptance to where you can use deadly physical force against a human being, the only thing that you're doing is you're introducing a gun into the equation that's not going to do anything for you. That's some things that you need to go over, and you need to mentally game plan this stuff, because that is where fights are won. When Jared Reston got in his fight, his first one, the one where he took a 45 ACP to the face and still won, he was asked in a interview whether it was difficult for him to take a human life, and he said no. He said that he had done it in his mind thousands of times, and that's the place that we need to come to. And yes, looking into this, is that dark? Yeah, it's dark. We're talking about killing people, right? We are talking about using deadly physical force, and you have to mentally game plan that so you're ready to do it. Because when the time comes to fight, run, or bunker down, you better know what you're going to be doing. You had better have game planned it out, and you better implement it, because there are only two outcomes. Either you're going to live or you're going to die, and you have one chance to get this stuff right. This has been with Zaprak Blog. Train like your life depends on it, because one day it might.